What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron, and today we got a really fun one. We did 2 videos on Tuesday, we did 2 videos on Thursday, so it freed up 2 free spots for videos this week. And I'm not gonna say that it's necessarily bad being restricted to like the same 7 videos every week, but I do miss the off season where I can just make like fun, spontaneous videos that are just kind of like creative or just, just kind of breaking up the cycle a little bit. So by doing that, it freed up 2 video ideas. We did a rest of season video yesterday, and I opened up to the Discord, the patrons, and I asked, what do you guys want to see? I kind of just spitballed a bunch of ideas. What do you guys want to see for these 2 videos coming up? They picked up the one that you guys saw yesterday, which I had a lot of fun making that. And today, we're going in raw, no outline, no nothing. I'm going to be out here trying to entertain you guys with this. We're going to go over my fantasy teams. You guys wanted to see where my fantasy teams are at. Now, a little bit of a background. I might have overdid it this year. I'll be honest. I am in 12 redraft managed leagues this year. All of them I have to do waivers for. All of them I have to set lineups for. Only 3 of them can I actually do trades in. 9 of them, there's no trading in them. But it's a lot to manage. It's a lot to be on top of. But I will say we're doing pretty well. So I kind of also want this as like credibility, like, am I, drafting the players that I'm talking about? As an analyst, am I even, or not an analyst, but somebody who does this on YouTube and does this, the hours of full-time, not getting paid full-time, but that'll be one day for your boy. But just, how are we holding up? Can I put my money where my mouth is? Am I out here doing well in these fantasy leagues? Now, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to pull up my screen share in a second here. Let's get into the intro. Make sure if at any point in time you enjoyed this video, I made you laugh, you learned something new. Maybe if you live in a house with a single woman, maybe you tell them about my YouTube channel. We get our female viewership a little bit up from 0.2%. Now, with that being said, let's go.
Thirsty, trying to choose. I know I'm pretty cool. My nitty bag.
And here we are. Oh, damn. So I probably should have done this before I got on here, but we have to resize this a little bit here. Let me get us in a decent spot here. So we'll go, that'll like kind of do it. So this is my team. Where's the lamb sauce? I kind of came to the name because we have CD Lamb here. But this is, if you guys haven't seen the video, maybe my favorite video. I'm not going to say my favorite video. I have a lot of videos that I really like, but easily in my top 5 to 10 was in the summer. I rounded up all my buddies and we did a live draft in person. So that's with all of my high school friends, all my boys from back home, 12 of us. This league is $20 buy-in. First gets everything, second gets their buy-in back. So first gets everything minus the buy-in. So $20, I think it's like $20 times 12, $240. Maybe it's $25 times 12. I don't know. I can't really remember. But this is a 0.5 PPR league. And a nice little twist on this league is any player drafted outside of the first 4 rounds, you can keep them that next year. You just have to keep them during that round. So I drafted Javonte Williams in the 6th round. I can keep him for a 6th rounder next year. Now, I will say I did keep Antonio Gibson, right? So he's on my bench. I did keep Antonio Gibson. What we do for keepers, if you kept them last year, I take the ADP from like Underdog or like a best ball website. And if their ADP was outside of the first 4 rounds, then you keep them for that round, if that makes sense. So Antonio Gibson was going in the 2nd round this year. I can't keep him, even though I kept him last year. Now, with that being said, even though this is probably, I'm embarrassed by this team. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I am embarrassed to show you guys this team because, again, with my high school buddies, I won a championship in 2019. Did I make? No, I didn't make it. I made it to like the semifinals in 2020. This year, we're looking kind of rough. We're 3-5 in this league. Things haven't gone as planned. So Antonio Gibson was supposed to be our hero running back, right? He hasn't been that guy. I did pass on Austin Eckler in the 2nd for Darren Waller. That was a mistake. I probably should have gone Austin Eckler there. So our hero running back has been holding us back, but our wide receivers have been holding up. Godwin, CD Lamb, Mike Williams, and Devontae Adams have all been really good. I think that it was. So Devontae Adams is wide receiver 9, wide receiver 13, wide receiver 14 is CD Lamb, and then wide receiver 8 for Godwin. The core components of 0 RB. Now, obviously, this isn't 0 RB because I have Antonio Gibson, but 0 RB in terms of modified 0 RB, just kind of the proponents of it and the aspects of it is that you want to have 4 wide receivers, right? So 2 wide receivers and then 2 wide receivers in your flex spot. You want to have 4 top 15 wide receivers. That is the goal. We achieved that, but we're not getting enough running back points, and we're getting a little bit unlucky. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, okay, so we are 3-5, but look at this. If we go to standings, it's not as bad as it looks on paper. Now these load times are going to be extremely tough with this on screen, but we have the points for. So this is, so you guys know these guys from the video, Yordi, Pete, David, all these guys. So we're 4th in points for, but in like the actual, because we're 3-5, where does 3-5 get us? Can we not do, so what 3-5 gets us to, if we go to like projected playoff bracket, so we're 4th in points scored. I think we're 9th overall in the league, which is pretty much unlucky. Yeah, so we're 9th. So we literally go from 4th points scored, we're 9th in the league. So it's really just a matter of being unlucky. I haven't made any moves with this team because I do just kind of believe in the roster. I think Lamar Jackson is fine. I think Darren Waller is going to turn it up here a little bit. All the wide receivers are fine. I just need to scrap together some running back points. Antonio Gibson, I honestly will say I have him as like a mid-range RB2 rest of season. I do think that he at least becomes serviceable, after the bye. Maybe he gets a little bit more healthy. Boston Scott, as long as Miles Sanders is on IR, and you guys do know I do have a fetish for Javonte Williams, so maybe he turns it up for me. I do think I have enough wide receiver scoring to be pretty much fine. Let me see, before we go on any further, let me see my schedule, and then I'll show you guys some teams. Now, I will say, again, I went into this without much of a outline, but like I'm reviewing teams. I don't know what else I would do, but so what am I looking at here? Where's my team? Where's the lamb sauce? So we just won by 4 points. I'm trying to find like some of the bad beats I have. Now I will say I think I have the highest point output of the entire year. Yeah. So in a 0.5 PPR league, I put up 204 points in this week. Before that, I had some bad beats. That's not a bad beat. Where's the lamb sauce? 138. In week two, I lost, even though I put up 135. I put up the 3rd most highest points this week, still lost. And then in this one, 115 to 125, also lost in this week. So I lost to Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes in week 1. And then here, I lost to Aaron Jones' 4-touchdown game on Monday night. So 2 gut-wrenching losses to start out the season. That's what kind of put us behind here. But again, I'm pretty confident. Now, I will show you guys pretty much the odds-on favorite to win the league. If you guys remember, Yordi, he drafted his team on the video. A lot of you guys said that he was the favorite to win the league. That's exactly where he's at. He's also made some trades that I thought were questionable here. He was a part of my Twitter poll where he traded away Derrick Henry. He traded away Jeremy McNichols and KJ Osborne for Jerry Jeudy and Derrick Henry. I thought that like when you're in a league with your buddies, like everyone has different trade values. I can't, go out there. I'm not one to veto things. I would never do that. But his team's insane. So you guys just saw my team. That's like a middle of the road, like fringe playoff team. This is first place. He's 7-1. It's actually pretty funny because he lost this game right here, 129 to 128. He won this game today. It just switched off of a stat correction, which is hilarious. So we have Herbert, McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. At tight end, he has Dan Arnold, but also Noah Fant backing him up. Joe Mixon, Khalil Herbert. It's a tough look, but I will say once Chicago gets the running back situated, okay, Khalil Herbert is no longer a decent flex, and then he's flexing essentially Corey Davis, Jarvis Landry, Jerry Jeudy, which isn't bad at all. Just none of those guys have been like reliable, like strong flexes to the point where he's stacked through everything. So at least he's a little bit weak at flex. Maybe I don't think Noah Fant's going to be that great with Albert O back, Jerry Jeudy back, but regardless, it's a really strong team. And he has Derrick Henry off the bench in case if he comes back for the playoffs. But he is pretty much far and away the best team in the league. So that is our first team. Wow, I just realized that we have spent 9 minutes on one team, but that's fine. I just want to do a deep dive on the team that we did the draft party video about, but that's that. Now this is where we get to our FFPC leagues. Now I'm showing you guys my worst team straight up first, but if you guys want to know about how this league works, what's the best way to show? So rules. So this is a tournament. So I did. Please don't do the math on how much money I spent here because it's not good. But I did 9 of these, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 across the top. $350. So all of these leagues are $350. I did 9 of them. And essentially how it works, you do head-to-head matchups. There's no trading. And the way it works is I believe it takes the top 2 seeds in the league in the regular season earn an automatic bid. And then also, so the top 2 seeds in the regular season earn an automatic bid. I believe the high score also gets an automatic bid. It's hard to even know how these actually go. So after week 12, league playoff standings will be decided as such. So team with the best regular season record, team with the highest point total, remaining team with the best regular season record, the remaining seed with the highest point total. Then you do a little bit of a playoffs within your league. So you're in a league of 12 people. You do a playoff, and then I believe that the top 2 seeds of each league get an automatic berth. So you can get the winner of the league is one winner. The top two teams in each league then advance to the championship round. So then the championship round is weeks 15 through 17, no head-to-head matchups, it's total points only. And then that is, the team with the highest sum of points scored through 15 through 17. Wow, so through 15 through 17, however many points you get during that point, you average that out, then you add that onto your 1-game point average from the regular season, and then that is the champion. Now I'm trying to look here. So then that's how that works, and then you have the prizes, right? So these are the regular season overall scoring leaders, and you have the championship round. First place gets $500,000, $100,000, $50,000, $25,000. Praying we get that. But then if you also, I believe that it shows does it show the prizes? Yeah, the individual league prizes. So if you become the 1 seed, you get, so first place gets $1,500. So again, you pay $350 to get in. First place gets $1,500, and then they also get entered into the championship round. Second place gets $500 and entered into the championship round. So that's pretty cool. So that is essentially how the league works. It's PPR, tight end premium, and this is our worst team. And this one is the only team that I split. So I split the $350 buy-in with my buddy, and we just got unlucky. We took our first 2 picks were Christian McCaffrey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, A.J. Brown, who was hurt a lot of the time. Our first 5 picks all busted, essentially. We went McCaffrey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, T. Higgins. It happens to the best of us. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this team. This team is by far and away my worst team. It sucks all around. A.J. Brown, Mike Williams. Like, Mike Williams was a huge hit, and we still couldn't get enough wins. Now, I will say, if we look at the league, if we look at the standings, are we that bad in terms of points for? 1,014. So this guy's 4-4, and we have more points scored than him. You know what I mean? So we did like, our points against is the second highest or the third highest in the league. All of us in the bottom have the highest points against. This team is likely dead because you need to finish in the top 4 to even make any noise, right? But it happens to the best of us. So let's just not even look at that league anymore. So we kind of will ramp up here. Some of these are looking weak out the gate, but trust me that I have some really strong FFPC teams. Now this is my true 0 RB team, right? So also, if you're wondering like why my team names are so weird, I'm a big Casey Fry guy. If you don't know who Casey Fry is, look one of these up. Look up All Men Are Friends. Or not All Men Are Friends, but these are all essentially Casey Fry and Nick Coletti references. I love those guys from Vine. They're like Twitter comedians. They're really funny. So this is our 0 RB team. This one hasn't worked out as much as I would like it to. Here's the thing. With these 0 RB teams, you need to hit on your wide receivers, which our wide receivers are decently strong, with the running backs. For your 0 RB teams to be really, really solid, here's the biggest problem with 0 RB. You guys know I love 0 RB, but for those of you guys that are true subscribers of the channel, you guys remember the summer where I was pumping out those strategy videos talking about 0 RB, hero RB, bimodal RB. I said right out the gate, I don't prefer 0. Like, I'm not one of these people that are going to say 0 RB is the best draft strategy. You have to do it. But if you're at the back end of the draft and an opportunity presents itself to do that, then fine, it is a viable draft strategy. But I do prefer hero RB or bimodal RB. But all 3 of them are fine. Now, with 0 RB, the problem is that the 2 guys that really panned out were 2 guys that I wasn't in on. If you were going to go out here and win like first place with a 0 RB team, or just period, you probably need to have James Robinson or Leonard Fournette. I wasn't on James Robinson because I really like Travis Etienne, and I wasn't on Leonard Fournette because I'm an idiot. Because James Robinson, you no longer got the discount once Travis Etienne got hurt. But this team's still decently strong. We have Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins. Now, Brandon Ayuk and Allen Robinson were awful. This draft was really weird the way it felt to me. My first 6 picks were wide receivers. I usually never go wide receiver times 6. It was a really, really weird draft. But I went Tyreek Hill, D-Hop, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Ayuk. Ayuk in the 6 at the time was a huge, huge value. Now, we have Dak Prescott, a little bit of a stack with Amari. Dallas Goedert is looking decent now that Zach Ertz is gone. Elijah Mitchell has been a godsend, but at RB2 I've been struggling. I haven't been able to, get somebody really good. You're going to see my hero RB teams. I've actually been able to. It's just kind of the way that things work out when you use your bids a certain way. Just certain players pan out a little bit better. But if you look at my other teams, my hero RB, I've actually been able to stream in RB2 better. Like I said, with this team, Devin Singletary is decent at running back. Our wide receivers aren't supercharged enough. For zero RB to work this year, you need to probably have one or two of Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, or Cooper Kupp. I whiffed on all of those. I whiffed on James Robinson. I whiffed on Leonard Fournette. That was the blueprint for zero RB this year. I whiffed on it. Now, like I said, this team is still 4-4. It's still live. Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins. We still have some good players, but it's essentially just middle of the pack. How many points do we have right here? 1036. Yeah, so 1036 isn't great at all if we're being honest here. What's that maybe? Jesus Christ, maybe second to last in points for here. So yeah, not one of my stronger teams. Like I said, for whatever reason, I put these kind of so they build up. But yeah, not my favorite team. It's a team that is alive. Again, these zero RB teams, at least I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt, is that these zero RB teams do sort of climb as the season comes on. More running backs get hurt, you get more wide running backs off waivers. That's kind of how that happens. Then we have What the Fuck Is Up, Kyle. And this is my favorite team. It's 4-4, and it's the 4-4 record misleading because this is my strongest team. Now I will say I think that maybe we're a little bit too zoomed out here. I hope that everything's been fine up until that point. But we're 4-4 again. 4-4 is extremely misleading because I do think that this might be my strongest team, if not maybe a top 3 team for me, because it hasn't panned out thus far. But at running back, we have DeAndre Swift. So it's a hero. I loved doing this offseason, and it's worked out beautifully. I have 2 or 3 teams like this where I did hero RB, but I waited until the 3rd round to get DeAndre Swift. So the 3rd round to get DeAndre Swift, so I still stacked up on wide receivers. This draft, maybe my favorite 1-2 start I've ever had, we went Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Now, our wide receivers are absolutely loaded because we went Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Then we went Terry McLaurin. Then we probably went Swift. No, we probably went Swift in the 4th here. Then we went probably Claypool in the 5th, Jamar Chase in the 6th, Deebo Samuel in the 7th. So we have Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Chase Claypool, and Terry McLaurin to pick from at wide receiver. So that's insane. Bye weeks, injuries, anything that comes at us, we're going to be perfect. And it's a perfect it's a perfect hero RB team because we have Swift at RB1. Now we're going to have Jeremy McNichols rest of season. Khalil Herbert is going to lose some of his shine now that David Montgomery is coming back. Alex Collins always is a little bit in the mix there in the Seahawks. We have James Conner, who's always good as an RB2 guy. So we have our RB2 options just fine, but our wide receiver firepower is absolutely insane. We have the wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 7, and then we have the wide receiver 15 and wide receiver 22 to rotate in as our 4th flex, who just happens to be Stephon Diggs and Terry McLaurin. So this team is insane. Tight ends are a little bit weak. Tyler Higbee's kind of been awful this year. CJ Uzomah's kind of interesting. Ryan Tannehill and Tom Brady have been absolutely fine. But yeah, this is also a really fun team. I want to see where we're at in terms of the standings. So here we're at in terms of the standings. How much? So what the fuck is up, Kyle? 12-27. So a point. We've just been really lucky and unlucky with points against. So that's fine. I want to say what's that? Third most. One of the only teams with over 1,000 points against. So 12-27 is more than first place, who's had 7-1, which is crazy. So we have the second highest points for. I pray that this guy has Derrick Henry. Please have Derrick Henry. No. So so he has Cooper Kupp essentially. This is the leading scorer. I just wanted to see if he had Derrick Henry. All right. So that team out of here. What's this next one that we have up here? So this is 5-3. Under You Gonna Make Me Act Up. This is a 5-3 team, and we don't even have Christian McCaffrey back. Now, I will say this isn't one of the stronger teams. This is probably one of the weaker teams here, but I mean, Marquise Brown, AJ Brown, T Higgins, Julio is decently strong at wide receiver. And then at running back, we do have this is a team that actually drafted Elijah Mitchell on. Again, this is a 5-3 team, so decently strong, right? Nothing too crazy, but all these teams are in the mix. You know what I mean? Elijah Mitchell, Joe Mixon, Khalil Herbert, Christian McCaffrey, Jeremy McNichol. So we have a lot of running backs to rotate in. I usually don't you guys will see most of my flexes are wide receivers, but on teams like this where I whiffed on some wide receivers, Fuller didn't pan out, Chenault didn't pan out, that's when you start to, you start building elsewhere. You start building off of waivers. You get those running backs. Once McCaffrey comes back, I think that this team will be amazing. Just need McCaffrey to be healthy. And then Noah Fant, Hooper, Tyler Conklin at tight end is whatever. Joe Burrow has, been holding us over at quarterback in this one. Let's see how we're doing in terms of standings. 1060 is really weak. This has been a team that's been really lucky with points against, to be honest with you. 1060 would be... Yeah, 1060 is really bad. So this team doesn't deserve to be that good, but it's kind of just the nature of fantasy football. Then we have what's popping at 4-4. So a lot of these teams are hovering around 500. We have this team, which is Carson Wentz, Taysom Hill, kind of struggling at quarterback. I spent some money on Taysom Hill, hoping that he kind of emerges here. But this wide receiver core is absolutely insane. Once we get Saquon Barkley back, this team's going to be good. So this is pretty much a Saquon Barkley team that's pretty much hero RB. So Saquon Barkley, Zach Moss, and just kind of Alex Collins, Brandon Bolden. We're kind of just stringing together things at RB2. But wide receiver, we're actually insane on this team. So we have Cortland Sutton, Brandon Ayuk off the bench, Debo, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore. Literally, I have so much Jamar Chase and so much Deebo Samuel, but no Cooper Kupp, which is going to absolutely drive me insane. And then we have Zach Ertz and TJ Hawkinson. Hopefully, TJ Hawkinson can pick things up. But another team that I really like, I think 4-4, I got to see the standings. I think that this might be one of those ones where 4-4 isn't accurate. Yeah, so I mean, 1193, this whole league is just pretty competitive, but 1193 should be fourth place at 5-3. But again, zero RB type teams, it takes a while to get those hero RB candidates rolling. Or zero RB candidates rolling, so you will start out a little bit of a rough patch, but I'm confident. Remember, with these leagues, you just have to finish in the top 4 to make the playoffs. So I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm literally one game out of fourth, putting up more points than fourth place. Which brings us to Balling with My Bros, another 4-4 team. I promise not all of the teams are this mid. I promise. Now this team I was excited for until the Cowboys stopped passing the ball, because I had Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari. Now we're hoping that Alvin Kamara turns things up, becomes this year's legendary running back. Hopefully he can kind of he just had that Seahawks game where he had 10 catches. I would love to see him. Does it have his game logs? Yeah, so Tampa Bay he had 11 catches. He had 11 targets against the Seahawks and 4 targets against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which wasn't good at all. But then but it was a weird game script because they were beating up on the Buccaneers for whatever reason. But this is a 4-4 team. This isn't one of my better teams, but again, it's still in the mix here. Some RB2 candidates we have in the hero RB build: AP, Bolden, Johnson, Derek Gore. Not one of my better teams again. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, Julio. Just not a great team. Kittle has really been letting us down this year. If we could get a second half tear from George Kittle, that would be huge for us. But yeah, this is one of my more meh teams. I don't even care about what the standings say. I believe that these last 3 are pretty good, though. Yeah, so this is my 8-0 team. This is my best team. And I actually want to show you, before I even show you guys the roster, on the leaderboard. Wow, dude. This team, is this 10 motherfucking bars? Am I an idiot? Get the fuck out of my way type of way, and then that's gross. So this is 10 motherfucking bars, I believe. Yeah, so this is 10 motherfucking bars, 10 motherfucking seconds, if you guys ever seen that video. But we're in the top, dude. This team is ranked 111th right now. Just crazy. Now look, I'm not going to pump my bags all the way up, because this team usually hovers around the top 250, but because of so this is the team right here with 1,336 points over the last 9 weeks, which is pretty crazy. It usually hovers around 250, but because of the Jonathan Taylor explosion last night, I believe that's what pushed him up. Now, come on, let's get back to the team screen. Oh my God. All right. So it's going to have to reload. Let's go back to the team screen. All right, so this is a really good team. This is my only undefeated team in this. Remember, these are $350 big boy leagues, and we're out here dominating here because dude, I'm telling you guys, we are cooking with some fire on this team. We have Justin Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Booker. But now remember, Devontae Booker's here as a placeholder, but bang, we got Saquon Barkley off the bench. So we're going to have Jonathan. So just picture this in the playoffs. Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley. Now look at the wide receiver spots, fellas. Look at the wide receiver spots. Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool. Now, do we have Henry Ruggs? Was it also maybe poor choice of words to say that we're cooking with fire here? Yes. Now, here's the thing. Henry Ruggs, we're going to have to drop him, which sucks because he was a great, nice little fill-in the flex, but okay, he's a scumbag of a human being. Fuck him anyways, whatever. But this team is still great even without Henry Ruggs. We don't need Henry Ruggs to win a chip out here, but I think Jeff Wilson, once he comes back, that fourth flex spot, we need Chase Claypool to kind of turn things up, but even still, it's such a great team. Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, Deebo, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Herbert, then some mix of like Claypool, somebody we find off waivers, and then we have at tight end spot, we have TJ Hawkinson, who's on bye right now. So that's a really, really, really strong start there. And let's see the standings real quick. Standings. Okay, so here we're at. So 1296. Yeah, so we're like above and away the best team in this league. ABBI is still pretty solid there. I hate to say hopefully, but hopefully he's a Derrick Henry team. I say that because like if you're in first place and second place is if you're in like second place and first place is a Derrick Henry team, then you can like pretty much feel good about that. But yeah, first place in this league looking extremely, extremely good. The roster looks extremely, extremely good. Just something I'm very excited about with this team. I think 10 motherfucking bars, 10 motherfucking seconds is really cooking with some heat here. Then we have not our last team. I believe we have two more teams. Then we have our 6-2 team. Get the fuck out of my way type way. And this is another. I had a couple of these starts this year. I want to say I have three out of these 12 teams you're going to see here have a Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley mix. Now, you're going to see a lot of these teams have like no remaining bids. All the teams I had Saquon Barkley on, I really did break the bank to get Devontae Booker. I didn't like overpay for him because I missed out on him in some places, but I did go above and beyond to get him. So, and you also see a lot of these teams are kind of built similar ways, which I don't know how I feel about, but this has Dak Prescott. Got a nice Amari Cooper stack. Then we have Devontae Booker, Jonathan Taylor. But remember, Saquon Barkley is here, so Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor will be our end game. Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper through 4 wide receiver spots, which is really good. But instead of having like TJ Hawkinson and tight end like the last team, we instead have Hooper, Hunter Henry, which like is kind of ugly there, but it's whatever. So this team is pretty good. Chase Claypool coming off the bench. Maybe we see something from Michael Gallup. None of these running backs really have much promise outside of Saquon and Jonathan Taylor, but another team that I'm really happy with. Let's see the standings real quick, though. 1262 is really good. 1181. So we're kind of getting a little bit lucky here because 1181 should probably be, it's like the fourth highest points scored, but it's fine. But yeah, we're tied for first place in this league. Love to see that. Then we have our last team, which we drafted live on the channel. I got tons of shit for drafting DeAndre Swift as my lone running back, but I love the way that this team turned out because we went Devontae Adams, we went George Kittle. We need George Kittle I need George Kittle to come off of IR and tear things up, guys. I need that really bad. I need him or Ayuk to go crazy here. We went Jalen Hurts, Zach Moss, Chuba Hubbard. Remember, this is not a Christian McCaffrey team, but this is a DeAndre Swift team. So on like a championship or a playoff week, DeAndre Swift will be right here. Then we have Deebo, Devontae Adams, who's really good. T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, who's on bye. So our 2 wide receivers and 2 flex spots will be Deebo, Devontae Adams, Godwin, and T. Higgins. That's really strong. We'll have George Kittle in tight end. That's really strong. We'll have DeAndre Swift, which is really strong at RB1. RB2 this is a hero RB build, so we're gonna have to like kind of mix in Jeremy McNichols, Chuba Hubbard. Maybe Sony Michel, Naeem Hines can kind of mix in a little bit. RB2 will be a little bit more concerning. Zach Moss, which is like fine. Zach Moss can always just play RB2, actually, now that I think about it. Jalen Hurts at quarterback, really, really nice this year. He's been the 6th best quarterback. So this team is really, really nice too. So this is also 6-2. Where are we at in the league with Scro? Now, I really hope that if you watch this video, you made it this far, because I'm gonna those first like 4 teams in the FFPC plus the ESPN league aren't good, but these last like 4 or 5 teams from the FFPC are really, really strong. This is 1188, so we're like 4th highest scoring in this league, 6-2, tied for 3rd place. So we're in a really strong spot here too. Now, I also wanted to go over. Wow, this is actually going a lot longer than I wanted it to be. But I also wanted to go over my ownership percentage in the FFPC. So this is still just all of those leagues. I just want to show. So Will Fuller, I drafted in 7 out of 9 leagues. Tough. Will Fuller has not panned out. He was just getting to spots that were kind of ridiculous. Huh, so you guys cannot see this now. So Will Fuller. So you guys can see now, like, okay, so like owner percent, all that good stuff. So we have 7 Will Fullers across 9. Remember, this is out of 9 leagues. We have 7 Will Fullers, 5 Deebo Samuel. So as much as I talked about Brandon Ayuk, I loved him more in Dynasty than I liked him in Seasonal. And Deebo Samuel was just getting to egregious prices during the offseason, because I drafted most of my teams like that last week of September on this website. Same thing with Jamar Chase. I ended up with Jamar Chase on 4 out of 9 of my teams because of the preseason drops, which is hilarious. It is hilarious that people were out there caring about preseason drops. Now, some guys that I missed a little bit on that I have high ownership on are Ronald Jones. I have him on 4 out of 9 teams. Remember, like if all of these Ronald Jones shares were just Leonard Fournette, I would literally be swimming in money right now. Then we have Jeremy McNichols, who I put in a lot of bids on this week. So I guess I won bid wars in 4 out of 9 leagues with him this past week. Also, DJ Moore is one that hurts me because I love DJ Moore. He's been really good, but everywhere that I took DJ Moore, I'd say that if I took DJ Moore 3 times, I probably passed on Cooper Kupp twice. DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift. I have DeAndre Swift up here. Where's Swift? Do I only have him on 2 teams? Yeah, so I have DeAndre Swift on 2 teams. But in that like late 3rd to early 4th range, I was taking DeAndre Swift and I was taking DJ Moore and some Chris Godwin while Kupp was on the board. So that sucks. I had Kupp ahead of Robert Woods, the right call. Not the good result. But I'm also looking, so guys that we weren't exposed to at all were, I don't have a single share of Derrick Henry. I don't have a single share of Cooper Kupp. Don't have a single share of Leonard Fournette. Don't have a single share of James Robinson. Those are the spots where I went wrong. But you're not going to, you know what I mean? Unless if you want to literally make your exposure 8% across the board, that's how it's going to be. We got buried in a couple spots, but we have a lot of Debo, a lot of Jamar Chase, a lot of DJ Moore, a lot of DeAndre Swift. So like things balance out. Now that's it for FFPC. Let me move myself back up here. Now these are subscriber leagues on Sleeper. So this is strictly subscriber league one. And this team isn't bad. This is another one of this is my 3rd team of the 12 leagues where I have Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley. I love that start. I probably shouldn't have mixed them together as much as I did, but I think once Saquon comes back, it will pay off. But this team is really strong. I want to say it's, can you not see? So we'll go over the team first. You have Lamar Jackson, Michael Carter, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, so really strong at running back. What else do we have at running back? This is another one of those teams. You guys will see, like, I don't have a lot of those dead zone running backs. So, like, David Montgomery, Chris Carson. I did miss, you run the risk of missing on Darrell Henderson, but you also get to dodge Chris Carson, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery. I know some of those guys are bust because of injury, but we know running backs get hurt, and that was the thesis in the offseason. If we know running backs get hurt at a high rate, and if they don't have the upside to be league-winning running backs, then there's not a point in taking those running backs, you know? So we did that. Lamar Jackson, another quarterback that I have actually in like quite a few places. Tyler Higbee at tight end, hate that. Logan Thomas, hopefully he comes back soon. Let's put him on IR real quick. AJ Green, Mike Evans, our tight end, or our wide receivers, flexes aren't great. We have Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, and like I guess like Jarvis, Robbie, Darrell Williams, like for now. It's not a spectacular team, but it's Jonathan Taylor, the running backs have kind of like just gotten me where I need them to be. Yeah, so we're in 2nd place right now with 969 points scored. Not a bad team at all. Now this is my worst team. I hate that I even have to show you guys this, but this was a bad 0 RB team. This was like the other 0 RB team I have is like 500 and it's just fine. It's viable. That's what I've always said. 0 RB is viable, but if you hit the right buttons this year, if you have Cooper Kupp on a 0 RB team with Leonard Fournette, you could be in 1st place right now. That's what it comes down to. I just didn't happen to hit those buttons, and this was one of those leagues. This is a PPR league with 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes. So you can start 5 wide receivers and only 2 running backs in a given week if you want to, which really tilted my hand to go 0 RB. We did that. It didn't work out because I didn't hit on the guys I needed to hit on. I got my wide receivers that I picked first were Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, Allen Robinson, Tyler Lockett, Robbie Anderson. They all suck. Tyler Lockett, his quarterback got hurt. My Tyler Lockett to Russell Wilson stack got ruined. I also drafted Travis Etienne in the 5th round. I drafted Travis Etienne in the 5th round a play before he got injured for the rest of the season. I also drafted Raheem Mostert, who got injured. So the whole team just kind of went down the drain. I did end up making a trade. I traded away Calvin Ridley and Stephon Diggs for Austin Eckler and Adam Thielen, but it still isn't enough to save this team. This team is like pretty much hot. It's my worst team. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you want to evaluate my 12 teams, I only have 2 of them that are completely out of contention. Only 2 of them. The rest of them are, and I think I only have 3. I think I only have 3 of them below 500. Everything else is 4-4 or better. So I think that's a pretty good record. 9 out of 12 of my teams are 500 or better. I should have taken a total, what my total record is across all of them. Actually, I'll do that in a second. I might pause this and go do the math. But yeah, so here's this team. We'll look at the league. It's not pretty. We are all the way in last place. Least amount of points scored. It's just not good, guys. It's not good. This is with the Fantasy Stock Exchange boys. Those guys are doing, or me. It's actually pretty funny. Me and Bush are on the bottom. Danny's doing just fine, holding his own. And then it's just a mix of Discord guys. Sexy Pats is in there. I know that he is a part of fantasy YouTube lore at this point, but yeah. So let me actually pause this, and I want to come back to you guys with my exact record across 12 leagues, 8 games in each of them, where we're at in terms of win percentage. All right, and we're back. So this is my my scrapped together Google Excel Google Sheets. Here's all my records right now. So obviously win, loss. This is my home and sub leagues. I honestly think that my home leagues and my sub leagues are actually bringing down my my record. So 1-7, 6-2, 3-5, and then these are all my FFPC ones where I'm only below 500 in one of them. I don't think the record's too bad. 52-44 across all of them. In FFPC, 42-30, which I feel really strong about. Given the fact that those are $350 leagues, and there's pride in home leagues, there's pride in sub leagues, but all of those are $20 to $50. All of them combined are a fraction of my FFPC league. So if you did it by equity and how much is at stake, the FFPC ones hold a lot more weight. So 42-30 I will take all day long in the FFPC. So as of right now, it's the midway point. I will say a lot of them you will see I went Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley early, all that stuff. The hero RB and zero RB type builds, they tend to get stronger as the season goes on. Most of my builds tend to get stronger as the season goes on because it's not predicated around vulturing wide receivers off of waivers. It's getting those running backs from those hurt teams. There's also the Derrick Henry teams, which are going to be worse. All of the teams that have injured running backs are going to be worse. I'm going to be getting Saquon back soon, Christian McCaffrey back soon. So, I'll take 42-30 in FFPC. I'll take a winning record across the board. I think that is fine. There is just a couple clunkers that those 1-7s are really bringing things down. But yeah, happy with where I'm at. Wanted to show you guys kind of, behind the scenes what my teams look like. Let me know if that was a fun video. Maybe I'll do that after the season, and I'll kind of go through all my leagues, kind of how everything shook out after the championship weekend. Maybe I win that $500,000 in the Football Guys Championship with my 8-0 team. We'll see what happens. Now, that's going to do it for today. Once I'm done and I put this camera down, this microphone down, I'm going to go update the Dynasty rankings. So if you play Dynasty, I have all of the Dynasty rankings updated every 4 weeks of the regular season. That, dude, I'm telling you guys, I give too much value on the Patreon. I literally, for $5, you get my weekly rankings, my waiver wire article, my rest of season rankings, my advice in the Discord, priority in the live streams, Dynasty rankings, seasonal rankings, rookie rankings, the input. I asked those guys if they wanted this video. So there's just a million things that you can get in there. Patreon.com/Ron Stewart. It'll be in the description. It'll be down below in the comments. I probably made this video maybe twice as long as it should have been. I probably should have tried to condense it down to 20 minutes, but I wanted to really go through all of them very thoroughly. I have no clue what I'm going to even title this video to make sure that people will even click on it. This video might not do too well, but I think it's a fun video so you guys can kind of see where I'm at in a lot of leagues now. I love you guys. I'm going to get started on these dynasty rankings. I will see you guys in the next one.